Good evening, everyone. It's Tom Sydney Bushnell, aka Numbers, here from Psych.Club from the Tom Numbers Show. News of Tom Numbers on top of your game, and I've got a gentleman at the top of his game, Mr. PASCAL NAJADI. Pascal, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Tom, good evening, and thank you for your time. And I would like to greet all of your brilliant, wonderful audience of Tom's show worldwide, the UK, United States, our heroes. All humans are heroes, by the way, all the way to Asia, African continent. And thank you for your time. Thank you to have me on your show.
Oh, you're welcome. And we've got a lot of good things to go through today. People obviously know me as Tom Numbers. I've got one set of numbers I'll share, and then we'll go into the meat of the show. So when I talk about numbers, it's the order of the alphabet and the numerical corresponding number to it. So in numbers, A is 1, first letter, B is 2, C is 3. If we do Pascal, Pascal is 52, which is Earth, which is heart. Najadi is 39. Add them together, come to 91. 91 is Space Force. So it seems appropriate, you know, for the numbers. So yeah.
Interesting.
So what have you got for us today, sir?
Look, I know it sounds like a broken record for those who follow me on my Rumble channel. And Tom, I want to give you the same benefit and also questions that you have or may have, but you know how your audience think. I don't know them so well. You treat with them daily. I want to make sure they benefit from it. But I think, you know, instead of going into this COVID disaster, I mean, too long, or at the end we can talk about it, but it's all actually a bigger picture.
Yes.
And people have to understand this. And since I'm up on the curve on the front for all of you, and by the way, don't thank me, thank other people. I tell you who to thank later. I just happened to be in this space, and I didn't seek to be in that position when I was born. I never knew why I really was born. I became a banker. I was successful advising governments, blah, blah, blah. I resigned in London in 2004. I was a board member. How old was I? 37. I resigned, and people said, "You're crazy. You're nuts." I mean, nobody leaves investment banking. You get kicked out, bad enough, but you don't resign, do you? You know, we were flying Concorde every 2 weeks, and then she crashed, of course, unfortunately, in Paris. But, you know, and I said, no, I can't. It was eating me up. And I learned one big thing for myself. I never was a money manager, never. I never was a trader, never a trader too. And I never could deal with money, really. I'm a very, personally, not a good investor. Money numbers don't talk to me at all, nor do mathematics and everything. And by the way, I haven't studied, but yet with age of 30, I was the youngest main board member of Clanwell Benson Limited, which was the oldest merchant bank of Great Britain. Lord Walker was my colleague, the vice chairman, Peter Walker. And I realized that there is a message, but I could not quantify it. You know, you can't, because you're in your rush. You are in your daily life. You're in your flights, your destinations, Moscow, New York, blah, blah, blah. And I think you only get to that when you go through a crisis where you find yourselves. That's my explanation. I went through, my father got assassinated brutally in 2013 in Malaysia. It's in Google. And that has thrown me into a deep, severe, depressive episode. They call it in medicine. I could hardly walk. And I was with myself alone, and I felt trapped in my body. And then you start to slowly pick up the pieces. Now, of course, COVID has accelerated strength. And I go quickly into it. I was the guy who filed criminal charges against the former Swiss resigned president and health minister, Alain Berset, and to 2 doctors, because they lied to me and to the people. And my case was valid. My injuries are clear, and all is legally perfect. I mean, as a victim, it's not a lawsuit. I'm not suing the guy for money. I instructed prosecution of the country, of my constitution, basically, to act. And the justice, the Swiss justice has rejected it. Prosecution has rejected it, sorry. And the court has rejected it, the Swiss criminal court, the federal court. Now I can say it. It was part of our stratagems. Another big, much bigger guy who has used the kaleidoscope of stratagems globally, multi-layered, is the current wartime president, commander-in-chief of the United States, Donald J. Trump. And I think we're going to explain to people now, go right into it, the essence. Why? President Trump is now the wartime president. Why? Why? And why the United States are actually now, today, everywhere in the world, in a global defense war that is not visible on purpose, not to scare the people, because this war is not against another country or another population or religion or whatever, faith, excuse me. This is, and I say it loud and clear, what we are now witnessing very soon is that's what JFK started, but couldn't finish because they have murdered him. They have assassinated JFK. And President Trump has mentioned it in Washington loud and clear. And that was in March 2023, when he said, I will totally obliterate the deep state on stage. If people, you see, people are used to Hollywood movies where things blow up and big statements are made, big words are said and speeches. Ladies and gentlemen, please be conscious. A businessman, I start at that level, a banker, another dude, me, let alone a minister, a head of state, a president of the United States, saying out loud what I just said in public, on stage, into cameras, is serious. Because if this person, even a lawyer in court in a negotiation with another lawyer fighting about a corporate affair, that's a rule. You don't threaten things about things that you cannot carry through. I.e., you don't hold up a criminal with an air gun, you'll be dead. Now, in symbolic terms, you're dead. Maybe don't get shot if you say that to the public, but your reputation will be destroyed if you don't carry through. President Trump has a reputation, a very good one. Not only is he a family man, a real family man, with a wonderful wife, the first lady. She's brilliant, isn't she? A mother, conservative, the old school, raising kids, protecting children. But President Trump has never started a war. He has ended them.
Yes.
And people, I want to just go slow now and come up to the point. This is not me selling to Tom or to the audience now here, President Trump or his family or his party. Forget the party politics for a second. Take it out. I'm not selling you Americanism, the United States military. I'm not selling. I'm not. I'm a Swiss military officer, Air Force. I am from a neutral upbringing. My own government, my own government has violated, is rogue, I declare it here, has violated the neutrality of Switzerland for Ukraine. We come to that later. I am giving you disclosure. My channels have been rebranded since November into disclosure. And people got to understand the word disclosure. I'm not making news, no, nor is Tom. I'm not selling you a belief system, no. And I'm not selling you an association or membership fees where I can enrich myself or collecting for some cause, no. And I'm not selling you, again, the presidency or votes, no. I'm giving you disclosure, hard facts, which we're going to go through right now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is about, and you see, many people are jealous out there. Jealousy, but never be jealous of anybody, please don't. It is vicious. Jealousy is a satanic spirit. we shouldn't be jealous if somebody else has the duty to inform you, like me. I have the duty. I have the duty. And many people say, why is he doing it? Why not me? Forget that. Just accept it. Disclosure means making known formally secret information. In other words, I'm authorized to do that. I'm not giving you leaks. This is not WikiLeaks, which is very good, but I'm not going to that. I'm not giving you, and it's a very important disclaimer, not giving you one iota of any military secrets of no government on this planet, because I don't carry military secrets. I don't, and I don't want to carry them, and I don't need them. I don't need to convince you, the bottom line. If you believe me or not, sorry to say, I don't care. I really don't. And if you hate me, I also don't care. I still love you. It's not the point. But I'm giving now disclosure on Tom's channel because this is important. I want to focus on this because you need to understand we are now humans. We are one. Call it divine humanity. And I don't want to make this religious as well. There is believers in God, and there's some people they can't. They have other beliefs. That's fine. We are free, remember? But you should believe in humanity as such. And the human species has been attacked. We know through injections. We know that now. It's all clear. And they, the other side, who has done this to us, to humanity, those evil beings, they are crossed the red line. This has accelerated, and now we come to the point, Operation Storm. And I conveniently, affectionately call it military operation, war operation Storm, because I don't know the secret name, but I relate to it through wartime, current war President Trump and Commander-in-Chief's, formulations in 2017 at the White House. When it was, I think, October, he had a gathering at the White House, and he had in the reception room, he had a whole lot of civil closed military chiefs. And he said, this is the finest military in the world. These are the finest military leaders of our world. There were about 30. And then the journalist said, what do you mean? And he said, well, you know, he said, maybe it's the calm before the storm, like en passant. And the journalist grabbed it up and she said, what do you mean, Mr. President, a storm? And he said, you'll find out. What he said, you'll find out. So that's why I call it Storm, because that's the only reference I have where current wartime President Trump has referred to a storm in front of, I think, 30 or 25, doesn't matter, many military leaders, commanders, not major level, major or colonel, far above, not politicians. Military, remember, we are not politicians. We give an oath, we take an oath, sorry, to protect and defend, uphold at all times until our last breath, the Constitution. We do not take an oath to protect and burn the government building with the politicians. No, that's not the oath. Because if I protect the Constitution, they are protected automatically. Logic, right? Because the Constitution governs, protects our country as well. The military's rule, I mean, it's all there, defense. And we are relating now with Tom, we're going into disclosure. And we're going to go through it now so you understand that we are in a global war. And as a military officer, I've done my duty. I'll tell you then later why, what I have done. And this supersedes all state, federal courts of governments, what I'm talking about now. And every human being has the same right now. And you don't need a lawyer for that. And those who have been in the military, like me, or still are, some of them cannot talk because they are in the storm, the Operation Storm, and we explain about the size of it, and it's global. So let's dive into this maybe, shall we?
Yes, and also just a couple of points you mentioned, Pascal, just you said, so calm before the storm in the numbers comes to 198. Operation Storm comes to 198. President Trump comes to 198. So it's all nicely coded there. And you said as well about, you call it a military operation because you're not sure per se what to call it.
No, it is.
Operation
It's a
Warp
war.
Speed.
No, it's a war operation. Yeah.
Yes. And what Operation Warp Speed comes to military operation, they're the same numbers, 220.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, I just say that plainly the way it is. Current wartime President and Commander-in-Chief Donald J. Trump is not the father of certain injections. He's not. In fact, he has been duped by rogue elements around him in the White House and other departments, like Fauci, we can say that, and Biden, etc., and military people, into almost going along with this. But he didn't, because he had the Space Force, military intelligence. And it was him who launched Warp Speed to trip them over and capture them. And he's done that. So we're talking about the utilization of stratagems. Now, this sounds it's Greek. And a stratagem, can you code that maybe, stratagem? I don't know if you have a number for that. Would be interesting to see. I've never done it, stratagem. It's Greek. And it means nothing else. General to lead. General, military to lead. In the colloquial or normal language, a stratagem is a ruse. Now, what is a ruse? You know a ruse, when you go fishing, we have a ruse in the river, and the fish don't really see it because it's like a cage, but it has a special entry point, and they go in, then they panic and they don't know and actually they feel well. After some time, they are in that big ruse, right? And they keep on swimming. And at 5 p.m., the fisherman comes, see what the catch is, come with the boat and pulls it out. And then they realize they're trapped until they are filleted and the rest. So let's see what stratagem brings in your numbers coding. Tom, would be interesting if you can do that, please.
The stratagem comes to
stratagem.
104 stratagem. A few things that comes to Jerusalem, comes to Starlink, stratagem. Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, Starlink is Space Force, just to let you know, guys.
Exactly. That's why I mentioned it. Yeah.
It's US Space Force, and those who get my emails, there's a little disclaimer thing. It says uplink, secure uplink through USSF.
Yes.
US Space Force. Okay. Now, this goes back to JFK, and we're not going to go that far back, but everybody knows he was murdered. And just that, Robert Kennedy is trying to ride on the wave, the fame of JFK. Forget it. He's a left-wing. That's now opinion of myself. A climate panic, yes sayer. He wants to shut down America on climate crisis. The guy had a Christmas party invitation 2021, where on the printed card to his private house, it said, you can only attend the Christmas party if you come mRNA injected. Okay, facts. He also said, and it's on Twitter, to a reporter in a demo on street, that climate panic, climate crisis critics, professors, should be incarcerated. It's on tape. There's no excuse. And if you find me saying something like that in public, then I betrayed myself and the people. There's no excuse for such things. You don't say that. Because we have no climate crisis, and this is our planet. This is not Greta Thunberg's planet, nor is it Robert Kennedy's planet and life. And nobody tells us where to drive, where to go. We are born free within the realms of our constitutions, law and order. We need law and order. Otherwise, we have a disastrous chaos. Now, enough prelude, if you allow, Tom. I think I'll do some screen sharing now.
Yes, please.
But first we go to the elections, presidential elections, quickly. We had all these past administrations, and we call them deep state. I call them deep state, and President Trump calls them deep state. And I call them, in summary, bad and sick people, and President Trump calls bad and sick people often. And if we say, President Trump or me, bad and sick people, we mean pedophiles, criminals, warmongers, satanists, tyrants, dictators, terrorists, criminals, which
you
are
said,
killing people.
What was the word you used? Bad and sick.
Bad and sick.
Bad and sick. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Oh, agreed. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Trump often says, sorry, President Trump always says that bad and sick people, those bad and sick people.
Yeah.
We're
They're
dealing with
sick.
a
That's
lot.
what he says, doesn't he? He says they're sick. Yeah.
Bad and sick, always
Yeah.
bad and sick. Now, this has nothing to do with people who suffer sickness. Please, just to make sure nobody gets into the comment section afterwards.
Sick in the head. Yeah.
Sick. You know, pedophiles are sick. Satanists, they have to be executed. That's the way I think. And it will happen now. So, the elections. We had past administrations that we grew up with. I grew up with this Vietnam War as a kid. I saw bombs flying in TV. It was first black and white TV, then became color TV. Korea War. Then we had to see this every night. We had to somehow see it, right? As young people, the countless wrong wars. You saw bombs and our TV was happily showing them in the evening news, BBC, Swiss television, you name it. And we grew up with that. And then came the computer games, shooting each other, right? I didn't do that, but most kids, they were war games. War. War is the most stupid thing amongst humans. It is stupid. But you have to be prepared for war if you want to maintain peace. That's the other flip side of it. Yeah. That means dissuasion. A dissuasion is not attacking someone. It's just being armed to the teeth. Greta Thunberg, I think, said to Trump he should institute electric tanks or electric bombers, flights, planes. And Trump said, this kid is nuts. Here we are getting attacked, and then we should bomb the shit out of the attacker and leave a note and say, by the way, we were CO2 compliant. We dropped a few bombs on you. So,
peace through strength. Peace through strength. That's what he says, doesn't he?
Yeah, Greta Thunberg, you hear me now here. Probably watching. I don't know. Go to school. Do your primary school now, finally. Go back to school and get a real job. It's not that easy, I can tell you that. Wrong wars. And everybody kept on saying, next presidency, the next president, oh, who's the next president? He might not do it. And then came Obama. And we had George W. Bush, crazy man. We had Bush Sr. We had all these guys. I think Reagan was quite a good, he was okay. But yeah. I kind of liked him, but I was too young then to understand what was going on.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we got these Clintons, we got the Clintons, we got this Lewinsky affair, we got then Hillary playing the game, going along with it, and all this crap. Excuse my French. And then we had Obama. And everybody said, wow, this is big change. And he went to Berlin and said, change, this word change was instituted. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, Hussein Obama is a Kenyan-born Muslim whose parents spoke fluently Russian when he was born in Kenya. He was infiltrated by the deep state and CIA elements, groomed. He's gay, totally gay. And, but that's okay. I mean, if you're gay, it's fine, but don't fake it. As your president, you have to be honest. And he's not American-born. That's the whole point. He is not. I make a claim. I know it. You know it as well. He's not. It's coming out soon now, anyway. But Obama started his mission to execute it, to divide America. His plan, his mission was, by his masters, to break up America from the inside and financially through senseless wars. Senseless wars. He killed millions of people and children. A Satanist. And then he started this Black Lives Matter crap. It's wrong. I'm very sorry if you are black. It's not about you. The cool statement is all lives matter, cats and dogs. That's a cool statement, right? Or animals. But to say white lives matter or black lives or red skins, this is when we start racism. And we start racism if we talk about the skin color. I just don't talk about it. I meet somebody who is color. His name is Peter. Say, hey, Peter, how was your day? I talk to this person like I talk to Jean, right? Or Muriel or Isabel, isn't it? Why the hell do we have to, also with Jewish people, excuse me, why do we have to start talking about religion before we even sit down for a meal. Forget it. We are humans. We are one. There's no privilege for anybody. You are what you are. And if you're a good person, you're good. If you're bad and sick, well, you're in a different category. That's the rule. Obama started to divide the people, the Americans. Hatred. Okay? Then we had Antifa growing up, financed through black funds, you know. That's all deep state. That came the race, right? Hillary and Trump. Clinton and Trump. And Trump was doing not so well at the beginning in the polls, right? They were all rigged, now we know. Last moment, I can tell that he won, right? With some help from Twitter. He used Twitter and connected to the people. And he was a surprise winner. We call that in England the dark horse, right? On the horse race. Everybody has this wonderful, proverbially white horse, the winner.
Yeah.
And they gallop in Ascot, and the last 100 meters, there's this dark horse coming and 2 heads length, going a total outsider.
Yeah.
And when I say you're a dark horse, that's a compliment. That means you are something special.
Yes.
To be followed, to be watched. Because that, and in humanity, there's the dark horses everywhere around you. Everyone is dark horse because the education system they also started was wrong. Why does an MBA holder of some stupid online university get a better job than a guy who has more common sense? See, I've never studied. I was a board member of Clanwell Benson in London, 29, 30. So we go back to common sense. Then came Clinton. Then came Trump, won the election. And he made the military big immediately again. He stopped all the wars. He did his tour.
Yes.
I'm not going into this capitulation tour. And then when he walked in front of the Queen, everybody said, oh, the mainstream media, he's a rude American. He has no manners. He walks in front of the Queen. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a British passport as well. I've not been to Buckingham Palace. No need. I don't want to go there. Never wanted to. But let me tell you something.
Pretty empty now.
Nobody, no human being has walked in front of a British king or a British queen at the guards. Not one. Not a fellow king from somewhere else. Never. It's protocol. It's ironclad protocol. You don't. Yeah. You cannot. But Trump did. It was a submission of the British crown to Donald Trump. And look where the monarchy is now. I don't have to go there, but it's clear. They're gone. Finished. Yeah. Now, because they've been siding with the globalists, WEF, Mr. Charles, I've not even coined Prince, not even worth that. It's a nothing. Trump has cleaned up the mess like Putin at home on the other side when he was earlier on, suddenly became president of Russia. When Yeltsin said, here, the keys of the Kremlin, you're the president now. And young Vladimir Putin became president, had to clean up this Russian mess. It was a total disaster, total disaster. Now he brought back the pride of the military. He brought back the middle class, security, family thinking, protecting the children, and. Big country to manage. Go back to Trump. Trump came in with the military for a mission to totally obliterate the globalist deep state. Because the globalist deep state was the one who rigged the elections in the United States, not just the recent election 2020. All of them have been rigged by lobbyists, by black funds, by Israeli business people for the Israeli cause, the Khazarian mafia, the Zionists, you name it. Party politics are wrong. Plato said it. Plato, he 327 BC. Plato said, and repeatedly said and wrote, out of democracy certainly grows absolute tyranny. Because there's always in parliament, and there is, look at you, I mean, not you, look at us around, 194 parliaments and politicians and leaders have agreed to inject us with something that was designed to kill us. Fact. Therefore, if you are military, you discover a system failure, let's say it's a pilot engine failure. When I land, I shut it down, and I tell the engineer, decouple that engine number 1, bring me a new one, or trash the airplane. It's not good enough. We need something else. And I go back to military justice, because military justice, you can look it up and Google it and research it a bit, is the only justice system that really worked in history. Rules are clear. The judges are officers. Therefore, they're not on bonuses or on fancy villas and champagne and entrecotes and what else not, very bad stuff. They have a regime. If you're in the military, you're in a different world. It's discipline. Military laws and orders are clear. So under Obama, we start there now. Under Obama, at the end of his presidency in November, just when the Supreme Court of the United States has ruled, Supreme Court, United States military personnel are different from civil counterparts. This sentence is huge. This gave a big go, finally, an independent go to the US military, not to create war senses, no, to protect unfettered at any time and defend the Constitution first. And with that comes the borders, of course, and with that comes the well-being of the people, the security of the people. That's the mission of the military. The military doesn't get involved in nitty-gritty civil disagreements. It protects the nation, the people, and it obliterates threats that are imminent or extraordinary threats against the national security of the United States. Is correct. I want the same from my presidency and military. I want the same. Now, a president of the United States is the president-elect, which is civil, but he's also commander-in-chief, supreme commander, like Putin. And normally, you have to go to Congress before you engage in war. Very tedious, because it gets political again. And if I'm dealing with a defense matter, frankly, I don't want to go to a Congress. I say, listen, I have a threat here. I've got 50 brigades or 20 or 10. And I'm going to ask permission of Congress. Hey, can we line up our planes? No. Bullshit. But anyway, there's a provision in the US law for national emergencies. And if the president declares national emergency, which he can at any time, any format, and if it's worded the right way, he can then unhinge the Congress, because Congress was dragging their feet, right? And we go right into this now, because this is the target definition of what is happening very soon, becoming visible, Operation Storm. Operation Storm is a US-led global covert, still now, war military alliance operation. It's a bit long, but that's the right definition. And I call it Storm. I just take that liberty. Makes it easier. Now, the hurricane can do two things. It can kill you. I mean, it can devastate your village or city. Yes, it can. Most tornadoes mostly do that. But a wind storm can also cleanse the streets, right? The leaves, garbage. If it's not too strong, and take the houses away. And that's what's happening. We're having a tornado that does not destroy us, not against the people, not against our houses or cars, but something else. It obliterated the globalist deep state, which is all rogue democracies attached to it and politicians. Now, let's go to this one. And remember, I'm giving you disclosure. We only now go through .unitedstates.gov resources that are now suddenly visible. Don't ask me why, but I'm giving the disclosure now. And you have to double check them. We do after this show, the links in the show notes of Tom and mine, then later in my Rumble, so that you can have an experience, those web people call the client experience, the BMW experience. Well, you have the Operation Storm experience by going through only a few links. And if anybody cannot read, get somebody who can. And please don't be lazy. Stop your Netflix binge watching, which is useless, totally useless. And spend an hour reading those links and understanding them. And you can. Nobody has to be a lawyer to understand them. I have no degree, and I did. When Derek Johnson, credit to him, chapeau credit to Derek Johnson, my buddy, American military veteran, Derek Johnson, who brought me on the track of truth last year. I like him. He's a buddy of mine, and he's reliable because he is a man who sticks to his word, like the current wartime President Trump.
Yeah,
we go into the share screening now.
I know Derek. Yeah. Yes, please share the screen. Yeah.
Okay. This is very important. Why? This is dated here. We go to the top, December 18th, 2023. As soon as it was up, as soon as it was live on the whitehouse.gov, I have disclosed it because I could, because it's now public information. Ladies and gentlemen, it says notice on the continuation of the continuation, which means it's active now. National emergency with respect to serious human rights abuse, that means killing people, and corruption. Also, the word serious corruption. Okay. You read this as I do. This national emergency was declared through a presidential executive order when President Trump was in his first mandate, Donald J. Trump, on the 20th of December, 2017. Executive Order 13818. And it says, the prevalence and severity, please follow the words, the importance. This is a presidential military order. You must understand the choice of words, please. The prevalence and severity of human rights abuse, severe human rights abuse, killing people or injuring people, and corruption that have their source in whole or substantial part outside the United States, continue now to pose an unusual and extraordinary threat to the national security of this great nation, the United States, foreign policy and economy of the United States, and the military. This, ladies and gentlemen, is nothing else than a national emergency calling out for military action. Very clear. Now, President Trump has enacted 11 of those. We're going to review, I think, 2 together here, which are elementary. And we're going to go explain to you how this global defense war has started and been declared constitutionally conform, by the way, and explain why. So this is national emergency declared by President Trump, where he's saying there is continued serious, extraordinary threat coming from outside, endangering the national security of, that means the whole country and the people and the military and economy and foreign policy of our country, I mean, his country, United States of America. And I just tell you, it's not Bangladesh, nothing against Bangladesh, don't get me wrong. It's not coming from Moscow, Russia, I'll tell you why not later, and it's not Beijing, it's not. This is a threat that comes from the country where I'm sitting in, and I'm defending the Constitution. And the backdrop of it is the crime scene, Geneva. Now, that's the target definition, but it's not just Geneva. It is also London, Paris, Brussels, Milan, the whole world, in fact, 194 governments around the world. It's a global war. For that, I need to declare war. Now I gave a reason, and I said, I have a problem outside of the United States, and I need action. Therefore, we're going to go through the next slide, and I cannot find it. That's my problem. Excuse me, please. I'm trying to go step by step. We go here. If I only could move, this is really embarrassing. We go here. This is also continued last year on the 7th of September. You see that, 2023. Another national emergency enacted by President Trump. National emergency with respect to foreign interference of undermining public confidence in the United States. This executive order is monumental, is 13848. Describes foreign interference into presidential election outcomes of the presidential election tabulations. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, this was authored and signed and enacted on the 12th of September 2018. Because, remember, President Trump's military mission of the United States is to eliminate the globalist deep state. That is also in the US, of course. That have been rigging elections. This executive order, go and check in the registry, it's longer than that, cancels, invalidates all presidential election results in the history of the United States. Completely. And it's been extended as well, like the other one I just showed you, by a certain, now we go into this, Joseph R. Biden, Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, the former Vice President, Joe Biden, and go and look at the documents that you can find online, has never signed his signature with R for Robinette. Stupid name. He was Joe Biden. He was quite charming, good looking. He was a good talker, and he was a traitor. And I say to you very clearly, the Joe Biden that you remember, the former vice president under traitor Obama, which we just talked about, has been already executed under the US Law of War Manual 2015, updated July 2023, for crimes against humanity, COVID, and high treason, and other stuff. He's dead. What you're seeing in your daily program, what you're seeing, like, I don't know where I'm going, and the guy falling down the stairs of Air Force One at the US Air Force or Navy parade, he falls over in front of all the commanders. This man is an actor, great guy. I mean, as an actor, great guy. Arthur Roberts, mostly. Google him. Hollywood. And he just said it yesterday. He played dumb. He said, oh, there's this president, this sitting president telling us, no, there's this guy telling us that we should crash the economy. Trump, the sitting president. He's played it as if he was senile saying it, but of course it's scripted. Ladies and gentlemen, make it short. Joe Biden has been executed for high treason and crimes against humanity, COVID, and he's been buried on the 20th of January 2021 at Arlington with 3 cannons at 9 seconds firing interval. You all saw it on CNN, and the deep state and some idiots, criminals, etc. My government, stupid. Of course they're stupid. They're criminals. They thought, wow, now he is in. And WEF, Klaus Schwab, yeah, that's our man. Now we got the strongest country in the world, and Joe Biden is the president. Big champagne corks. They were looking at the cannons. They were counting the seconds not. And they didn't count the cannons. Idiots. Stupid. Because that was a funeral protocol at Arlington. And by the way, never ever before, and never will be anymore, but anyway, there never was a Hail the Chief legal act. It's a legal act. The 4 cannons. Hello? 4 cannons. The Army service must present 4 cannons physically, 21 shots at 3 seconds interval. 3 cannons and 9 seconds interval firing shots is a funeral protocol. And that was Joe Biden's funeral that you really saw. When the fake Joe Biden was at the Capitol at 11:47, taking an oath on the Bible, flying into Washington with a chartered plane. He should fly in with Air Force One. That's the rule. But the Air Force and the Space Force, because he's an actor. It's really costly to operate the Air Force One. So he came with a charter flight. And the Army service also, the Marines and all the officers that do this formal protocol, holding the Bible, all this stuff, they have to wear full uniform, parades, decorations. It's the law at the inauguration. Look at the YouTube, all plain clothes, all of them. The taking of the oath of fake Joe Biden, Arthur Roberts, was at 11:47 a.m. The Constitution says it must be at 12 noon, because the Constitution says a presidential mandate either ends and either continues or starts at 12:00. Whilst this dude was doing this thing, this fake swearing in, the actors for CNN and all the deep states and all the idiots out there, the ruse, right, the stratagem, the camera switched, and the CNN guys were really excited. Oh, look, there he's going, and Melania's coming, and it's goodbye, and it's the last. And President Trump insisted on 4 cannons, 21 salutes. They turned it in this way that his ego, they said his ego is high, that's why he wanted 4 cannons. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot ask for 4 cannons and 21 shots like a menu in a restaurant to have a steak or chicken. You can't. This is a legal act by the US military machine, and it's necessary to be done. And it needs to be from 4 cannons and 21 shots at 3 seconds interval. Go and check in YouTube. Now we can tell you now. It was, of course, at Andrews Air Force Base. And Trump was there playing the game as if he was leaving. And they didn't get it. And the army reconfirmed, maintained, you're our commander-in-chief. A big issue. And he went to the plane, into Air Force One, a wonderful aircraft. And top pilots, the best you can think of, Air Force, and flew. He said, bring me to Mar-a-Lago. I said, oh, there he goes, the old man, there he goes. Yeah. And now Biden, restart the real corruption, right? And NATO and Ukraine and all that. Yeah, that's good. The wheels of Air Force One left the runway, at 11:59 and 58 seconds. Precise dudes. And fulfilled even that, because all what I'm telling you is about being conform with we the people, the Constitution. And President Trump always said, we will give the power back to the people. This is what's happening now. I'm just doing these lengthy explanations in detail so people can relate to it.
It's good.
So he flew to Mar-a-Lago, and in my show notes, and Tom will have it, I now disclosed also last week, the active .faa.gov, that's the Federal Aviation Authority, Civil Aviation Authority of the United States, where you can click now on our link, faa.gov, and it opens the screen and it says, no-fly zone over Mar-a-Lago, Palm Beach, Florida. And it says, you can read it yourself, reason, security. Oh, hotel, tennis club has a no-fly zone with missiles? Wow. No hotel gets that. No hotel, even Buckingham Palace didn't have that. The airspace, ladies and gentlemen, of the White House, which is described in Google as the residence and the highest executive office, nothing to do with white or yellow walls. The White House is the place where the residence, designated residence and highest executive office of the president-elect and commander-in-chief is. Wartime President, Commander-in-Chief Trump, with the First Lady, brilliant Melania Trump. Mar-a-Lago. Go and check. Now, people said, oh, you faked the website. I said, you guys are so sick. They said I faked the link, right? That I made this link fake and make all these programs so that people would link. I tell them, fuck off. Okay, these people. No, it's the FAA link. It's active. And the no-fly zone is active. And it ends, ladies and gentlemen, on June 1st, 2024. Today, we have now the 3rd of February. Something is accelerating now. And it's the global war on the globalist deep state, which is finished already. Otherwise, the clandestine war would not surface, right? Also, please reflect, ladies and gentlemen, the fact that I can speak about this now openly, and the fact that I can offer you disclosure and active links confirming now that there has been always a no-fly zone over Mar-a-Lago, confirming that this is the White House always been of the current wartime President Trump, speaks volumes. The fact that I can do this now on the 3rd of February means something else. It probably is finished. Otherwise, believe you me, the censorship during wartime, all media and internet is censored because you're at war, and that's normal. It has to be censored. Now, we went from Executive Order 13818, the target definition of a war action. We have shown you 13848, and you get the links later, canceling all presidential elections in the history of the United States, null and void. And I've just explained to you that Joe Biden has been executed and is buried on the 20th of January 21. And I've given you the legal aspects why the inauguration was faked. You cannot give the White House and the military command to an actor called Arthur Roberts. You really cannot, even you like him, you can't. You can't. But President Trump carried the mandate back. But he had to do something else. Declare war. And let's go to that now, the declaration of war. Constitutionally conform, very important, because you have to be correct and declare war. And he has done that. And it's described in the 50 US Code, that is law, Chapter 33, War Powers Resolution Act. That's Title 50, War and National Defense. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is the pudding, the proof. We're going to go to Section 1550, which has been put in by then President Trump. In that instant here, he became wartime president. The second one in history of the United States. Roosevelt was the first one. And the wartime president has unfettered power at war. Logic. And the wartime president, until the war is not resolved and the peace agreement is not signed and declared by the wartime president as ended, the wartime president, as long as it takes, is the president of the United States and commander-in-chief. Okay, you understand now. So, no later than 180 days after December 20th, 2019, the president shall submit, blah, 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 blah. He declared war, matters to be included in this report, which these are secret documents which you cannot see. The exact target definition, and he's not asking for Congress, he's submitting the report afterwards, okay? That's what we're going to do, okay? Live with it. And it's calling also, here you will read it later, it's calling for accompanied and calling for regular or irregular forces, military forces of any foreign country or government that have engaged in hostilities, etc. Which means he called for the World Generals Alliance, another treaty, no time to go there, but here it says, by the way, I'm not only declaring war on the world in a defense war, but I also mobilize a treaty, or I'm calling for partner forces, regular, meaning with the government knowing, or irregular. Many countries, military forces are in this without the approval of their governments, which are rogue. So, because President Trump was visible for all of you in shows and talk shows, and he started to display all this stuff with these stupid court cases, he had to delegate the powers. And here we have it. It's now public. He's disclosed at the bottom. At the bottom it is very hidden, but it's there. Executive documents, delegation of authority under Section 1285 of the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2020. But the memorandum was written on July 19th, 2021. And it was backdated to the fiscal year 2020, which means January 1st, valid. And it says basically plain language, memorandum for the Secretary of Defense of the United States, by the authority vested in me as president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, I hereby delegate to the Secretary of Defense per 1st of January 2020, remember, the authority and functions vested in the president, on the use of military force in support of partner forces to the Congress. Signed again, J.R. Biden, J.R., no president title, right? Of course not, he's an actor. And it says, I delegate the powers, the authority and functions vested in the president. The signatory didn't say, he should have said, if he would be president, he would have said, vested into me, delegating, but he said into the president. Keep it neutral, right? This is all legal language. Very short. In other words, President Trump, wartime President Trump became wartime president through the declaration of war here in 1550 section on the 20th of December 2019. You can read that up now. It's still in there in the registry, which means it's ongoing. Okay? It's ongoing right now. So since 4 years, there's been a global war going on and you haven't seen a thing. It is a covert war or clandestine war. And clandestine is not illegal. Clandestine is really cool. It's really, nobody knows about it. But then Trump had to mobilize troops. You also have to be constitutionally conform. Otherwise, you're a dictator. And it's not about dictatorship. This is about we the people. So here it is. President Trump has mobilized 1 million men and women, no trans, soldiers into active war duty. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. And that was executive order. Where is the numbers of those orders? I'm always getting lost with those. It was 13912. And here we read section 1 and it says, not to exceed 1 million members on active duty at any one time. The Secretary of Defense took that control because remember, he just got the power, right? The President Trump has delegated it to the Secretary of Defense in the memo that you saw as per January 1st, 2020, backdated it. Who was president on January 1st, 2020? President Trump. So he took the power then, right? Because Biden was executed.
Who was Secretary of Defense then, Pascal?
I leave that open. I don't want to disclose because I cannot tell you. Officially is Lloyd Austin on the website. I cannot confirm in a war. Don't forget, trickery is allowed. And President Trump said it when he became president, the first mandate. He said, we will stop, the military will stop holding press conference, telling the journalists what we're going to do tomorrow. You don't tell the enemy what you do tomorrow and don't expect a press conference. You are now stuck with me and Tom, but I give you disclosure. Only.gov resources. So it's not about me or my show or Tom's. It's about you people. You have to learn now and read and understand. Recap. President Trump is the wartime president. You saw that. He declared war, orderly, constitutionally conform. He's mobilized 1 million troops in active duty because he has federalized the National Guard. The National Guard, ladies and gentlemen, before was state-bound. Texas, National Guard, New York State, National Guard, California, blah, blah, blah. 50 National Guards. By the way, Texas had the Texas National Guard, is now federalized, but Texas is the only state in the United States which has its own Texas National Guard still, and it's the only state, history, I got it from Derek Johnson, so credit to him, is the only state, Texas, that is allowed to fly the Texas flag at the same height as the flag of the United States. All other 49 states must, even if it's 10 centimeters, fly their flag lower in public displays and buildings. Because Texas is the biggest tax contributor or wealth producer of the United States. And Texas has made already great laws. Mask mandates, injection mandates are penal code. Pedophilia is death penalty and all this stuff. CDBC is forbidden. You know, going and, you know, they have atomic powers already. They have clean energy, great stuff. Anyway, Texas, great country. We love you, Texas. Everything is big there. The stakes are big. The cars are big. Everything's good. So there you go. So I just gave you proof, disclosed to you, referenced on Tom's show, that actually President Trump is the wartime president and commander-in-chief, that his White House, the White House, not he, the White House is at his residence, protected by a shoot-down air protected no-fly zone. Any bird flying into this or drone or paraglider will be shot down, simply shot down, because the rules are clear. Military is good. The rules are clear. And guess what? Nobody violates it. Not even a terrorist will do that because they're blown out of the sky. No chance. So, and they know it. It's written there online. Don't do it. Like a high voltage on the train station, it says, don't touch it, you'll die. You don't touch the high wire, do you? It's very simple, you know? You know, so that's where we are. Now, you might tell me, why all this show? Yeah, well, the Biden administration is fake. It's disclosed by me here again. It's a central casting operation.
Yeah.
I'm a filmmaker too. I did a big Swiss cinema movie. Central casting you mostly use in docudramas, documentary dramas, where you need protagonists to play, like the Queen, for instance. You had this dude, Tony Blair, to be played by some actor, and wasn't doing a bad job. I forgot the name of the actor. And Helen Mirren was playing the Queen.
Oh,
right?
yeah, Ian McShane.
Huh?
Not Ian, yeah, not Ian McShane. Oh,
Doesn't matter.
not,
Okay.
yeah,
The Queen.
not
The
Ian,
Queen.
someone, yeah,
Yeah.
I know the other one. Yeah.
All right. And when you do the casting, it's difficult. It's a difficult job. People say, oh, it's
Kate
fun. No,
Beckinsale's there.
it's fun.
Yeah.
We have to find a character that has a similar voice. Voice is very important. The similar height, I mean, the bone structure, and maybe can play the old man or young, all these things. You're watching a central casting operation. If you Google central casting, you also come to a company called Central Casting. It's America's largest casting background, or whatever you call that, casting company for film.
Yeah.
And President Trump said it often, oh, it's central casting. En passant, he now comes out with it. This central casting, oh, central casting.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Wonderful central casting. He's giving you it all. So the Biden administration is fake. Kamala has been executed as well. She's also played by an actress. It is fake. And if she's fake, the Biden administration, these are actors. Every morning they have a briefing, what to do, what to say. It's not that easy because these actors don't have any missile defense in their head or, trade agreements with China. They have no clue. And that's not their job, but they're getting the scripts. What to say, how to stand, what to do. And everything is scripted in studios. The White House is locked, by the way, the old White House, it's locked. There's nobody in there. Can call it, nobody pick up the phone. It's in Mar-a-Lago, remember? So the central casting operation, the Biden administration, and again, I'm disclosing this to you openly and freely, and I'm still alive. Nothing will happen to me or to you guys, because it's coming to an end. Every film has an ending. Every film has an end, right?
Yeah.
And mostly is a happy ending because kids are watching it too, and they want to have a happy ending. Nice marriage or love or wealth, yacht,
all of that. Yeah.
Or sometimes you have drama, death, execution. Here we have both. We have both coming. You will be shown the execution, the drama at the end. The drama. No, it's the justice. You will see it on screen. Really, you will. Of countless leaders, fascists, pedophiles, corrupt judges, corrupt politicians, traitors who betrayed you, us, me, during injections, you know what I'm talking about. They're gone. And President Trump said it in March. I repeat his words. I will totally obliterate the deep state. Well, the Biden administration was a kaleidoscope of stratagems. I did mine in Switzerland, trapping the Swiss government. I've done it. And I've reported my findings. I caught them all because they rejected my cases about those injections. As a victim, I'm dying from it. And the Space Force is, well, I know them and they know me. Hello. And the US Space Force, by the way, has the US, well, my name, you said the number, what was it, 91? What's my name?
Yes, so PASCAL NAJADI in numbers equals 91. POTUS equals 91. Liberty equals 91. And Future equals 91. And Space Force equals 91.
Yes. And I've developed this proverb in September out of the blue. And I said, we are the guardians of humanity, and our light obliterates the darkness of evil always. And I repeat that, and I repeat that even now for all the bad and sick people out there. You are listening now, Mr. Berset, Mr. Macron, Mr. Tedros, Mr. Guterres. It applies to you. Our light has obliterated many of you and obliterates you very soon or today or tomorrow. Doesn't matter. And it's done through the US Law of War Manual 2015, July 23 updates. Why? We go back to the war. I just gave you proof. The United States of America, under wartime President Trump, is in an active war operation that is global with 200 generals from the United States, active duty generals. One general pyramid. People say, yeah, great uniform, cool dude, general, yeah. No, no, no. A general is a lot of work. Look at the structure of a general, 3, 4-star, 5-star. Wow. The power you command, the firing power, be that Navy, Air Force, Army, field, people, I mean, soldiers, munitions, weapons, huge. 200 generals, US active duty, 800 in total, Derek Johnson and I concluded, 800 active duty since 2020, when they mobilized 1 million people, soldiers, sorry, excuse me. 800. The Second World War was run by 12 or 14 generals, ultimately 4 commanders, including Marshal Zhukov, great guy, Soviets, killed the Nazis, right? 12/4 ultimately. Here we have 800. It's a bit like taking Switzerland, small country, and putting it into the Russian Federation and then take a zoom. Oh, I lost Switzerland. I can't see it anymore. So that's about the dimension we're talking. Switzerland is the Second World War command against the Nazis and fascists. And here, what we're having now is the Russian Federation. It takes 9.5 hours to cross in a jet from east to west or vice versa. That is Operation Storm. That's the dimension. It's global. The Space Force has been founded on the 20th of December 2019, the same day President Trump declared war, and the same, yes, and the US Space Force since the 15th of August 22, my birth month. I'm very proud of it. I'm a lion, I'm a Leo. The Space Force has been made the command, communications, and control center of all United States military satellite communication networks and satellites. Ladies and gentlemen, if you control all military satellites and communications of an army, military, in effect, you are the control and command center. You agree? Because if you have no communications, you can have all the medals here, but if I have no field phone, I'm not the commander. So yeah. That's not about making cool within the military. It's to streamline things. That's all it is. And it's clever because today we operate in space. The real threat for the human species was never another country or a virus that doesn't exist. The real threat is other species in space which are jealous of us. And that's where it all comes down to. That's why we're the guardians. At the Space Force, all members are called guardians. In the Swiss military, in all other military branches, you are a soldier on paper, your profession. If you're professional, even if you're an officer, still a soldier for sold, you get money for it. You get a daily fee. Not mercenary within the military. You're a soldier. You execute orders from your superior as trained. But at the Space Force, they also execute orders from superiors. There's a structure, of course, but all of them are guardians to guard the US Constitution, which protects the people and the land and the borders. But it also means guardians of space, because we're not alone. I guarantee you, we're not alone. Stephen Hawking was now found out to be on Epstein Island. He knew nothing about astro. It was all given to him to tell the universities, to teach you guys about the size and shape of this universe. It's all wrong. It will be soon revealed by the Operation Storm, because the deep state, globalist deep state, is not just the injections phase trying to exterminate us. It goes back to wrong wars, as we said, and it goes back hundreds of years. We say thousands of years. I don't go into religion now. I on purpose do not touch religion at all. No need. You believe in other humans. We are here to help each other and to be here for one another, and not to be jealous of one another. No, jealousy is vicious, it's satanic. We don't have to go and marry each other, no, but we should take care of each other. And if an old woman needs to cross the street, you stop your car and you help that woman. If it's raining or not, you do it, or you help the shopping bag. You protect the children at all times. It's a natural instinct. You protect them. We are guardians of our children. We are guardians of our house, of our car, of our Ferrari, of our Volkswagen. We're guardians of our girlfriends Of course we are. And we guard our iPhone. We are careful in the restaurant. We guard it. And we guard our world, beautiful world with no climate crisis. And we guard what we have. Gratitude is important. We should be grateful for what we have alive. And we should be giving gratitude to the universe, because the universe can only say yes. Most people entrap themselves. I don't have enough money. Universe says yes. It's true, you're a loser. If you say, I'm grateful for what I have, universe says yes. The universe knows what you need to be happy. You don't have to wish it all day like Christmas tree. No, just don't talk about it. Go about your job. Money will come to you. It's not the issue. Materialism is dangerous, is satanic. But let's not talk about that. We go back to the war. Operation Storm is coming to an end. Fact, otherwise I would not be able, Derek giving me the information to give to you and to establish it together with Derek and me going further with the certain aspects of opinion, which is opinion, but I give you disclosure. Ladies and gentlemen, I couldn't do this because under wartime, go and check the laws, the rules of the military. The media is under control too. Now the 100 billion to Ukraine, of course it was sent. Because remember, Biden is an actor. It's all scripted. It's all decided by President Trump and the US military, what happens around the world, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that means there was sent the money to check how NATO, EU members, on the line, others are laundering the money. And don't worry, the money comes back because the US Space Force can track everything real time. So now the US military has confirmation that Zelensky, the Ukro-Nazis, they tried to raise the Fourth Reich out of Ukraine. They failed, of course, because Putin made a pact with President Trump. They made peace forever. Russia, this huge country with wonderful culture and resources, is a friend of the Americans, never was an enemy of the Americans. Never. Remember Second World War? They were together fighting against the Nazis then. Now, the fascists, they haven't stopped. And people say the fascists are right-wing conservative. Not true. It's a lie. Nazi, Nationalsozialisten. They were always the communist, Marxist, socialist left-wing of our society. They were the ones, the poor, who crawled above our heads, the working class, and elevated themselves, the minority, like von der Leyen, right? As an example, Europe. If a minority elevates over law and order and other people, it is a fascist. No need to just be called Hitler for that. Mussolini was also one, by the way, and Pinochet. But let's go back to the fascism. Private-public partnerships. All these MBA dudes and these idiots, they said, yeah, it's great, PowerPoint. We do a telecom, public-private partnership, airline, private energy. That's fascism, because when you have that, you squeeze the population and you suck out the money. That's what they have done. It's over. It's finished. And I can tell you that Operation Storm is surfacing soon. I gave you enough indications for that. And President Trump is doing his job on his end. I'm sorry, this is the iPhone. Because he more and more reveals that he's the commander-in-chief to the people. Because it is a slow wake-up process. It's like when you had a big operation in hospital, and I hope that nobody has one, but you're coming out of the anesthesia and it's blurred, right? You can't just drive into a car after the operation and drive home. You see 4 trolley buses and 15 red lights. I did this once after an operation. I had to stop the car. They let me go, the idiots. I was
Not
like,
advisable.
I saw 4 buses, 8 taxis, tried to go home in London. Stupid. No, you have to go slow. Like a person going through the desert with no water. I've been to the desert. And then nearly dying out of thirst. You cannot give him a glass of water. He'll die, or she. You spoon it slowly. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, yes, it's true. Operation Storm has been designed not against you, us, or we the people. It's the opposite. It is for we the people in the United States and 193 nations, including Switzerland here, to liberate us from fascist, rogue governments that have betrayed us for generations, especially through the injections, and institutions. The UN, I announced that here in Switzerland. I'm in the mountains now, a bit far away from Geneva, but the United Nations Palais des Nations, the Palace of Nations, the famous one, the big building, has been shut by Operation Storm without a shot. Just a few people came and said, you know what, Guterres, you come with us. And the offices get shut. And the Swiss media that are corrupt, my Swiss media, not my own, wrote, oh, the UN temporarily closes the offices, the operations, because of unresolved electricity and energy bills for the building. Yeah, of course. So,
Brilliant.
the UN is shut, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. It's the beginning of the surfacing of Operation Storm. I love the Space Force. Go to the website. It's the only, they have a .mil website, but for the kids, for the young ones, go to that website and browse it. It's to attract young talent, because at the Space Force, we say we are the guardians, and the chant de guerre, the motto at the Marines, it's Semper Fi. Many people know that, but Space Force is young, and it's Semper Supra, Latin for always above.
Mm-hmm.
Logic, space, and I show you something. That is the logo, and the star here, oh, sorry, that is Polaris, and it should guide humanity not to lose the course, why we're humans. And this is very symbolic, very important. The Space Force is in principle also the continuation and officialization of the SSP, the Secret Space Program 47. But that's another talk we have, maybe, Tom. Leave it at that now. Operation Storm is commanded through the Space Force, and the commander of the Space Force is wartime President Trump, and the Secretary of Defense is executing and reporting only to the wartime president. We have given you now the links. We have explained to you why the executive orders have been drawn up, because of continued, I have to say it again, continued sources outside of America for serious human rights abuses, killings, murderings, and serious corruption outside of the United States that continue now even to pose a extraordinary, the word extraordinary, threat to the national security, the military, and borders and people of the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't get it now, what's been happening, and we've given you .gov resources, and I'd like to give one shout out, a few, to Tom. Thank you for your time, and the audience. But I would like to thank all the brave men and women that are in active war duty since March 2020 for us, for humanity. Mm-hmm. You are serving all over the places in a covert operation. You've been risking your lives to still do it. And I commend you all. It's a compliment to all of them, all of the US military, but all other aligned nations, military, not nations, allied military forces, to liberate us from the grips of fascist democracies, which don't work. Plato said it, they don't work. Because you know what? At wartime, they couldn't tell their wives or husbands at home and children where they are and why they're on rotations away from them. And you know, it takes a lot to keep it secret. I mean, imagine millions of soldiers and officers. That is cool, I really must say. Compliment. And of course, the overreaching compliment goes, of course, to current wartime President Trump and his family, Commander-in-Chief, and Secretary of Defense. But President Trump, you're a real man. You are living by your word, and the word is your bond. And we know that, and we respect that, and acknowledge that you are the current wartime President and Commander-in-Chief of the United States of America. And the same goes for Melania Trump and the family Trump and the children. I also know that, and I would offer condolences that a few weeks ago, already in December, I think, sadly, or was it January, the mother of Melania Trump, the First Lady, has unfortunately passed away. And we offer condolences belated. But feel strong, the Space Force and the American-led War Alliance is there not to drop bombs on us, but to liberate humanity for good. We will not have democratic systems anymore, thank God. We will not have politics anymore, parliaments and political parties. Politicians, go and get the CVs ready, find a job. You're gone, finished. And those who have done bad, they are already on the execution list. You will all be executed, and you can't run. You can't, because the Space Force knows even before you run where you're going. That's it really from Switzerland. Lots of light and love to everybody. And I give a special email address to Tom that is going to the Space Force to me. And it is for journalists, because journalists who listen to this now and reference that and who do not report about material facts that the public should know, that's your job, journalists. You might be tried for crimes against humanity, because you're, by not reporting about it, you're protecting potentially a democide and fascism. And I advise the journalists, mainstream or not, to write about Tom's or my disclosure now and the references you have. So it's not about us. Write about the disclosures themselves. Then you do humanity a job. Remember, the Space Force sees whatever you're not doing. Yes. And of course, whatever you're doing. So you know what? You have no choice. You have to report the truth. Time is up.
Time is up.
Sorry, monologue, but
No,
I tried to make it as lively as possible.
It's great. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I know the viewers will love it. And in closing, you said about the Guardians. So Guardian is 94 in the numbers.
Yep.
The Guardians in numbers is 127, the Ace of Spades, which is also November 5th, November 5 TH. And the Space Force Guardians is 218, which is that film Guardians of the Galaxy. So maybe there was some disclosure for the kids and fans on Space Force. And Space Force Military is 198, which is Operation Storm, which is President Trump, which is Calm Before the Storm, which is also the resurrection. And that's what Space Force are doing with people that need to be made well again.
Yes, I can announce that without knowing the details, but like me, dying of these injections, the Space Force has already eliminated those spikes from my blood. I had 183.5 PG. I have zero spikes now, zero. The US Space Force has done this with modern technology, complicated stuff to explain. My mother too, she has no spikes in the blood, thank God. But all other people, bit more patient, please. Be patient, because I believe, I don't know it, but I believe the Space Force will roll out immediately first, special technology to fix everybody. We lost too many people, and their souls are not lost. They didn't die. Those are lights. Remember, we are the Guardians, and our light. The painful losses, and I have many friends also lost them, children as well. They've joined our love and light. They're not dead. You can't die. Your soul lives forever. Believe me, your frequency. But Tom and I know that. But humanity, please go align yourselves with the consciousness. Take care of each other. Family is very important. Of course, it's your family. And don't be jealous of the neighbor if he has 2 Porsches or 3. Don't be happy for these people. Please, somebody successful, be happy. Because it's destructive to be jealous in all of it. Private relationships, girlfriend, it's jealousy. It's just so destructive. Love and light, it brings us further. And yeah, thanks for telling me 91 is Space Force. Somebody else told me that last week as well. And with that, what can I thank you.
91, yeah.
Huh? Sorry?
No, I was just echoing what you said. Yeah, Pascal Najadi, 91, Space Force 91. Yeah.
There you go. Okay. With that, I wish you a blessed Sunday. Or is it what's tomorrow? I forgot the time.
Tomorrow is Sunday. Today's Saturday. It's all one. It's all one, isn't it? You know.
Of course, but tomorrow in Britain we had in the summer the Sunday lunch, right? The roast and or chicken.
Yeah.
We're roasting a chicken tomorrow. Okay.
I will enjoy a roast tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All the best, Tom. We'll be in touch. Can you send me the video and I'll talk to you tomorrow, please?
Yes.
I'll send you an email with the links and give you photos that you can give to people, some of them are private photos of the president. Use them. It's nice for your illustration.
Great. Yeah, we'll put all those links in there and people can see. So
and your photos, I give you photos and stuff. Okay, bye.
Thank you. God bless. We'll speak again.
God bless you.
Take care.
All the best.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much.